So I want to constitute my panel based on the directorates. HPT, Product Evaluation and Directorate, Dr. Kashoki. And if you have a lieutenant, they can accompany you, but are there more seats? They can sit behind you so that they give you notes. And next is Laboratory Services, Lona Wangari. Dr. CJ, you can double up for, they will ask you questions about ML3. That's the ML3 now. The guru is there. Directorate of Inspections, Dominic. And then Corporate Services, Issues Policy, Administration, Dr. Troitich. Then Christopher was here before. We are not gender sensitive. Eh? So who is missing? Practice. Where is Mavali? Mavali? Mutu ya Kakamega ama Maragori. Omar, if is he around? Is Omar around? Abdul? So, as they come, I think the board members have been introduced. I want all those who came from the Pharmacy and Poisons Board management to wake up wherever you are. Simameni jamani, Ali, wewe ndio senior na unakaa chini ba. You can see we are here from the regions, from headquarters, National Quality Control Lab. You are going to be forgotten, my friend. Can you let people know you are here and you are part of the regulatory authority? Kwena is around. I don't know who else. You know, I'm an old man. My eyes cannot see properly. So you excuse me. Is that Manani? Yeah. So, I don't want to give you stories. I want these people, everybody, 2 minutes or 1 minute, you say what you do.
Okay. Yes, my name is Anthony Toreitich. I'm the Director of Corporate Services at Pharmacy and Poisons Board. Generally speaking, I manage the regulatory system in terms of ensuring that all the system is well aligned in terms of complying to the quality management system and ensuring that the organization works in an efficient manner in terms of performance management, monitoring the annual work plans that are being implemented as planned for, and also working towards development of budgets. Right now we are reviewing the corporate our cooperation strategy and plan and organogram generally. Those are the things that I do.
Good morning, everyone. Sichei Cheori Chamge is my name. I'm the WHO focal person for GMP. I'm also the focal person for benchmarking of the Pharmacy and Poisons Board in its bid to attain maturity level 3. I'm the Chief Principal Regulatory Officer offering technical support to local manufacturers and capacity building of the inspectorate in GMP. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Munyoroku Karaoke. I oversee inspectorate, that is good distribution practices, good manufacturing practices, and ports of entry. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Karaoke Gashoki is my name. I head the Department of Product Evaluation and Registration. Basically, we do grant market authorization to pharmaceutical products and, of course, medical devices and in vitro diagnostics. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Once again, Christabel Haemba is my name. Overseeing product safety department, which takes care of clinical trials, pharmacovigilance and post-market surveillance, and medicines information.
Morning. I'm Omar Abdul Kadir. I'm in charge of licensing, but from the Directorate of Pharmacy Practice and Regulation of Training. At the Directorate, we deal with basically the life cycle of the pharmacists, from the training institutions until, of course, licensing and continuous professional development. So that's what the Directorate deals with. Thank you.
So now can we take the first questions? We will take the first three and specify who you want to answer the questions. If it is practice issues, say practice, because our work is dual. There's the product side and there's the practice side. So, but I always set rules about questions. Don't tell us stories. Ask the question. Don't give us a lecture. You are asking a clarification. If it's a comment, say it's a comment. So, I see Wamuriki, you are eager. Be direct. No beating about the bush. Ask your questions, we'll answer it direct. You also answer direct. Please don't tell stories. We don't have luxury of time for stories. That we can do later in the evening at the beach and where we meet. So, Dr. Wamurichu, can you?
Thank you very much. Kamamia Mauricio, Chairman, Kenya Pharmaceutical Distributors Association. I've got only one question today for Dr. Gashoki for product evaluation and market authorization. I think the others you heard of them when you go to Nairobi. What is happening to foreign GMP? Inspections have not been done. Is it for 3 years? And we are all tied down. You cannot participate in tenders and all those types of things. Please, be open and be transparent. Hatutakupiga ukituambia zile charges uko nazo. Kama uko na charges, tutakusaidia. Thank you.
Next, we'll take three and then we answer.
Good morning. I'm Abdi Hadoun. I work with KEMSA. Mine is just compliance, what the board is doing in terms of enhancing relation with the National Procurement Agency. That is one. The other one is you talk about pharmacovigilance, but there is a lot in the space of vigilance, and we expect maybe the board to establish a national vigilance which comprises of cosmetic vigilance, phytochemical, pharmacovigilance, nutrition vigilance, and as well as toxicovigilance. We have been trying to establish a poison center at the Pharmacy and Poison Board, engaged the board severally. We at one point were given appointment as a medical pharmacologist to provide some sort of consultancy, but I think we were not able to penetrate. So the poison center we are still pursuing, and we want maybe to get what the board is also doing in terms of establishing that poison center, the National Poison Center at the board. Thank you.
This is a question for practice. It's been sent forward. Why does it take so long to get specialist recognition? Some of us have waited more than 3 years, and no one seems to have an idea at the board offices who is a point person that we should follow up with.
And that's when we started mapping our risky areas. So what we have been doing for the time being, we've mapped up all those companies that have been audited by stringent regulatory authorities. We have sorted those. The ones that are domiciled in SRA regions. We have now mapped out all the companies in Asia and other countries, but companies are WHO recognized. Those ones, we will recognize them on product-based, not the whole spectra like the one in SRA, product-based. And now we've come up with the next plan, and we'll start with our African continent, from South Africa to Egypt to Nigeria, then to the Asian countries. And that's the phase where we are now. And that's what is being implemented next. Thank you.
But I heard you say something about 3 years. I think whoever, you don't have that data, my friend. The whole of the country, you've done it, the last 3 months, and then they were given CAPAs. If your CAPA is not sufficient to convince us to come back, we will not come back until we are convinced that you are doing good work. There are people who, you tell them they don't have a HVAC system, they buy a HVAC system, and before they even put under commission, they are saying, come and inspect. We want to inspect something that is working. You don't buy an equipment and tell us, come and see you have bought an equipment. We don't have that luxury of time. We want to come and inspect a system that is working. So, it is not true, Amurichu, that 3 years. No. Local, Europe, America, forget, as he has said. Those in the US and Europe, you are through. 200 companies. As he said, Asia, they are doing a risk-based and reliance, and those that will comply with the requirements of reliance will be cleared soon. But kama una cottage ile unatengeneza vitu mbaya, we will not agree with you. Tutafunga. Even locally tumefunga zingine. So somebody saying 3 years is cheating you. It's not 3 years. So next is Christabel.
Yeah, so the question was about Poison Center. Sorry, the question was about Poison Center and if it's what is the plan? So it might have taken long, but it will be operational because there are things structures that have to be put in place and personnel before it can start getting operational. In terms of pharmacovigilance, by expanding the scope to take care of cosmetovigilance and nutrivigilance. So as we know currently in the country, we still have an overlap between PPB and KEMSA in terms of regulation of cosmetics and food products. So there's a committee that is working on that. And once these have been settled, I believe we'll have clear guidelines. But that does not mean that we are still not getting reports on cosmetovigilance and nutrivigilance. So when we get them, we handle what we are able to handle, and what is not within the docket of PV, then it is sent to the relevant institution. Thank you.
Okay, on the issue of specialist recognition, we have our guidelines, which is online, and both the guideline and the application form are online. And I heard somebody say 3 years, but as at end of May, which is a few weeks ago, we have dispensed off with all the applications that were done. We have some certificates that are still yet to be collected, but if there is anyone who has an issue with his recognition letter, I think that should be an individual case. But as at end of May, we have dispensed off with all the applications, basically they have been reviewed and certificates are ready for collection.
That the PPB decided to give away this mandate. For once we are here, the family, let us hear categorically. Did we say we don't want veterinary medicines under our control? I would be very happy if you can say that and for all, in front of all of us, so that as we fight this war, we know who the enemy is. And I'm not suggesting we are the enemy. Please, we need this clarity. Because when you go to the CS, we must go as a family, knowing what we are saying, that we are together. In fact, we are talking about job creation. If pharmacies are going out of jobs and you are giving up our mandates, what the hell are we talking about? Sincerely, do you want people out of jobs? Or do you want to create jobs? You want to ring fence, you want to make sure pharmacies are seen everywhere. And within the inspector, within the new regulation, the KDA, we can accommodate these vets in the inspectorates. There is no justification for them creating anything else. And I don't want to go too far in this. I have a document circulating. If you want to see him, I can show it to you, and it is there. So that we can fight this war together as a family. Let us not be seen to be hiding and running away when we are being invaded. So I think those are the areas. I don't want to say too much. As I said, my name is fellow Dr. Karanja, those who do not know me. I started very many years as the founder of the school. Most of you probably know me as a teacher. I fought very hard to go into that regulator is because I was respected and I was given the responsibility. But I carried the torch, and today I'm still here because I still carry that torch. Because I have that conviction that it's a mandate we have to do.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for allowing me to make those comments. And I appreciate the efforts we are making. Let us move forward. For once, there is no go backwards. Thank you.
Sante, I think Mwalimu has only one question for us to clarify. The rest is advice, comment, and I feel the organizers should have given Mwalimu his airtime to give a keynote speech. This is a panel for PPP, but it's talking to all of you. Yeah. Sam is beating his own trumpet, which is true. There are fellows also here who have done quite a lot for the society and the profession. There are members of management, past and present, who are still struggling with these issues. We are not yet there. I should mention, I see fellow Atebe, very instrumental. Fellow Professor Ndemo. I don't see the other fellows. Management, I have my colleague, Dr. Nyangala, has fought so hard. Can you, yeah. Some of the people who have pushed this agenda. So I agree with you with all the things you have been saying. But let me clarify that one of the veterinary. And Omurichi was there. We went to court with the vets. It is the court that ruled that those medicines belong to VMD. It is not us who said let it go. Wamurichi, you are part of the case.
Actually, I'm the one who went to court.
Yeah, so it is not that PPC sat and said it was an order that we surrender them, and we had to. And if we do not surrender, most of you will not be taken for contempt. It is only me who's taken for contempt. Not even my board members. If you don't obey court orders. So that was the situation, Mwalimu. Let nobody cheat you that we sat as a board and management and said let them go. No. It was a court order. And I don't know if we even appealed. It was so difficult. Kadare, can somebody answer Kadare's question on look-alike? I know it, but I don't want to answer.
Yeah, so for look-alike, sound-alike, the board acknowledges we've received this complaint, and we are having discussions within different departments and people engaged, and there's a protocol that is in place, some activities are being done. Just to tell you, this is not just a Kenyan problem, this is a global issue. and we have guidance from WHO on how to engage and be able to mitigate these going forward. So once this activity is done, we will definitely have some policy briefs around the issues of look-alike, sound-alike. Thank you.
On the issue of the levels of practice, there is a guideline for good pharmacy practice that has been developed, and I'm sure most of us, the stakeholders, have received emails to give their comments and inputs, and there will be a validation online which will happen on 24th of this June. So please give your comments and inputs to that guideline so that we make it better. Thank you.
There are so many questions on the board. Some are repeating each other, but I want to read them and then you pick as per your directed what you'll answer. They are requesting for waivers of the current penalties on licenses for the sake of compliance. Who is speaking that one? Waivers. It is a corporate. Parallel imports, Ashoki. Position on technologies. Licensing of substandard outlet premises, Dr. Kariuki, Munyoroku. Levels of practice, Omar. Variation guidelines, Dr. Kashoki. Training of PVRA for distributors done by local manufacturers, Dr. Haemba. I didn't get this one. Is it going up? Is PBB what? Is PP especially the inspectors in that is yours, Munyoroku. Nyumba Kumi. Again, Munyoroku. Separate. I see some of these is just that maybe people are not aware. Most of these things are being done. I think we've not had a forum where we sit with stakeholders and take them through what we do. Because when I look at some of the questions, is we are already doing. But I'm asking you take 2 minutes to see what's yours, and then I'll give you time to respond. As I hear Professor Kalebo.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak. I'm speaking on behalf of some of our graduates from the University of Nairobi. As you're aware, we are training specialists in pharmacovigilance. So unfortunately, in the past few years, they have been struggling to find places for experiential learning. We requested the board if they could be doing either attachment or internship, and the response we received that the board does not have a policy on that. And that has placed our students at a very great disadvantage. So I'm certain that the board is engaged in policy development. I humbly request the CEO and the PV department to create space and opportunities for our students to do experiential learning at the board for at least 6 months, and through your office to facilitate a policy or a directive for our pharma industry to provide experiential learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Okalebo. I think the discussions are ongoing, and we actually have the MOU that was signed between PPB, ARCO, and UON on how to engage this. I believe the other issues have been picked, and maybe it will be discussed and we'll know, because currently PPB is not an internship center, but we've been providing avenue for the PVGIL students to at least work, and we also engage them when we have other activities. So maybe we can also find ways of how to engage them with other industries where they can also get other experience. Thank you.
Yes, just to add, I think it's something that we are discussing in terms of having an internship position so that people can get that experience. Because, you know, the internship training program did not incorporate the issue of regulatory affairs as part of the internship process. But it's something that we are discussing. But we are open to any researcher who wants to come in for operational research. We also have established an office of operational research, which we want to strengthen. I know it has been a bit weak, but it's an office that we think is quite important. The only challenge that we've been having is the issue of maybe somebody gets the data and they start presenting in other fora without involving the board, because that is where now we are looking at that MOU and trying to resolve the issue of conflict of interest and also the issue of confidentiality, especially on the patient's data. Once we streamline that component, then it will be just fine for students to come there.
Maybe I can talk about one of the questions that was on the board about borderline products. Yes, we had the platform for borderline products, but then we developed a guidelines to categorize all the products that were in that platform to either pharma, to food, to cosmetics, to herbal products, to blood and blood products. So once the certificate of that had been granted for borderline has expired, we would now expect the applicants to recategorize their products depending on which category they belong to. So basically, that is what is going on in terms of borderline. And therefore, the retentions will depend on which category the products belongs to. Thank you.
Just to add, I think I saw on top, I think there was a question on poor quality and recalls, which is part of the rapid alert system of the country. Just to clarify that we are actually strengthening the monitoring of poor quality in the country. As you are aware, in the pharmacovigilance system, there is the poor quality medicine reporting portal where you're supposed to report any poor quality that you experience when you are in the market. That system is currently under a lot of, we are revamping it, and we are using risk-based approach to be able to determine which product is going to be recalled. And so far, if you can see, like last year we had a lot of recalls, and recalls generally are not, they're usually intended to protect the patients from further exposure to those products. So recalls, generally, if you look at them, they are supposed to be a positive way of protecting more patients. So don't look at it from that the board is not doing anything. It's actually one of the regulatory actions that we are mandated to do to be able to protect patients from the market. So it's a patient safety action, and we want you to support that by making sure that in case you have any product that is not working, people call them not working, or any poor quality complaint, please report so that we can be able to make decisions using that data. On parallel imports, I think I saw something on parallel imports because I was involved in the development of parallel imports guidelines and even the regulations. The parallel imports is always confused to be bad for the industry, but parallel import is one of the strategies under TRIPS that is is put to be able to control price of medicines. So generally speaking, it is legally allowed. I think we have regulations on them, and we are implementing the rules as required. So parallel imports should not be viewed negatively in terms of they are not counterfeits or falsified products. They are actually products coming from other markets because of differential pricing in different markets. And it was a strategy that was taken to be able to utilize the TRICS flexibilities. The only challenge we've been having, and I think we are educating the parallel importers, is that they have to make sure that the product is an English pack. And those are the main challenges that we've been facing, because prices are usually maybe cheaper in areas that are not English. They don't have English. On waivers, it is supposed to be done on a case-to-case basis. I don't think we can just give a blanket waiver. We request that those ones who are requesting for a waiver, we want to understand why, because most of them are penalties. We want to understand why, and we have to have a justification of waiving that particular penalty that has been put. So if you apply for a waiver, make sure you explain the reasons why that penalty came in and why you are entitled for the waiver. Then it will be considered on a case-to-case basis.
Let me add this issue of waiver. You know, our minister can negotiate fees and maybe penalties and what, but waiver is not given again by us. Once it is there, you want a waiver, it's given by the National Treasury. That money is supposed to go to the consolidated fund. We use it after we budgeted for it. So it is easier, you create it, but now to remove it becomes hard because somebody else is the one who does. So don't expect to be given waivers. It is the reality. If I give a waiver when I'm audited, it is me who will be asked to pay. And it's you who made the mistake. So if you want a waiver, we will forward it to the National Treasury. If they say waive, we'll gladly remove it. Even for government, the ministry itself has been applying some waivers on some trainings. We said no, write to the other place. If they write to us, the Minister for National Treasury writes to us that waive this, we will waive. You are tuna shida. So time is going. I think Munyorok, you have most of the questions. And then Kashoki, Omar, maybe you take about 4 minutes, then we'll bring it to a close. But I realize that then we would like maybe later to have I don't know which forum where we'll want to talk to you about what the board does. What's our area of influence and what's beyond us. But I've not seen questions on ML3. ML3 is Pharmacy Board. It is not PSK. It is not anybody. It is us and other collaborating agencies like NQCL, our development partners. I recognize you. I did not want you to wake up, but you are here. They are the ones who have been helping us with the investments. For us to get ML3, it's a lot of investment, and you say it. It's one of the people who have really helped us with their agencies. And they employed for us 28 pharmacists. And now they have been absorbed. The World Bank is going to assist us employ another 45. So iko kazi, lakini don't apply when it comes that it is not going to, you are not coming to Malinga there. There's a lot of work to be done. Ask those like Mzee Nyanga who have passed through there. Ni kazi ni mingi. And we will be putting people on productivity. What you produce ask those young interns, those who have done 1 year contract. Every week you have a target and you report. And you are paid according to that. So Everybody else in the board from July is going to be on that. So if you are a Maringara, shauri yako, you will be isolated. And Mokoro, if we ask you to pay more with your people, please pay because we will be delivering. If you want 2 weeks, and we have agreed 2 weeks, we give you a result in 2 weeks. So ukiongeza pesa kidogo tukikuja kunegotiate maneno ya fees, please musiseme zero. FKPM, you like saying zero. Umrichu, you say zero. That, my friend, pay more and then we invest and give you results in time you require. So don't tell your people, don't pay at zero. Where do you get free services? Okay, Munyoroko.
Thank you, Bwana CEO. Now, most of the questions that have come here have been asked here about good distribution practices and how to strengthen the inspectorate generally. So let me give you the strategy. Let me not belabor the problem because the problems have been seen and there are many. Let me give you the strategy that we have done as PPB under the guidance of our board members. We've looked at the offenses in Cap 244. Our undoing has been, they are categorized as petty offenses. Zile ukienda koti asubuhi mtu achanga, then mtu adawa analetwa 500 anaenda nyumbani. So what we have done, we have engaged the office of the AG and the ODPP. And we are having the crimes under Cap 244 upgraded from petty offenses to criminal offenses, so that even the fines are enhanced. Number 2, as we speak, with the lawyers at PPB, we have already drawn amendments to the rules in Cap 244 to enhance the penalties that will accrue to the offenses that people commit in our area, so that they become a deterrent to others. We are working as we speak. We have already started communicating with some of the county pharmacists. We are coming up with a strategy, and it's been approved by the board, where PPB will be working with the county pharmacist up to the sub-county level, so that the pharmacist out in the field, because our numbers are limited, they become our eyes and feet on the ground. So that any issue coming up, we are seeing it from there. But it has to be structured, so as we speak, you are doing the MOU, so that we know when we engage them, where do we start and where do they start for smooth working. The issue that we are having, and this goes to the members here, is the people who have licenses for retail and they are illegally wholesaling. We have done our intelligence and we have seen the way some quacks, why some quacks are thriving. They are using 2 strategies. Number 1, legally licensed wholesalers are distributing drugs to some of the outlets that are unlicensed, but they don't issue an invoice or any paper trail. And Dr. Mohammed and others, our inspectors here, can tell you. You supply a guy, then you just write on a piece of paper like this, a blank paper. So when our inspectors get, even to try and work backward, the paper trail of where it originated becomes an issue. And number 2, we have discovered licensed retail outlets are being used by quacks, where I tell Sichei, his chemist is here, I tell him, I'll give you my order, ask for them from the wholesaler because you have a license, then you mark it up for me 15%. So you have a licensed retail sourcing products from a wholesaler for a quack at a fee. And those are happening with our professionals. Now to cap those, the EDC has been reactivated, disciplinary, and we've started the sittings, and some of our members have appeared and are about to appear in that board meeting. And then for entry, illegal entry of medicines, the board has already identified 14 new ports of entry to be gazetted. So that now is the issue of getting, we gazette them, then we get the staff to man them. So these are, and then the other one is collaboration with other government agencies. If you had the DP when he was here, he sat down involve PPB. Even as we speak today at DP's office in Karen, one of our members is going there to give an update of what PPB has done to close down all these illegal outlets. And that's where collaboration with the police, with the administration came in. And what I usually tell people as an inspector, a quack does not need a qualified pharmacist to be shut down. Even the general public, if they can establish this is a quack, they should enforce and close it. Because some people are complaining about police going to close down chemists. But those guys, we give them updated list every 2 weeks, that this is the list of licensed outlets in your county. So the county, the sub-county police commissioner, and everyone else work with that list. If your chemist is not on that list, the chief carries you out. Thank you.
I think I'll say one statement on regulation of herbal medicine. There's a guideline in our website called Guideline on Herbal and Complementary Medicines Registration. That will guide the question on how you register products that are locally manufactured that are herbal products. And then I'll also want to update the members on issue of regulation of cosmetics. We have a new guideline that is in draft form that will be given to the stakeholders for your input. So please, when we give that guideline, we want your input on that will guide now the registration of cosmetic products. Thank you.
So there was a question about training PV and RA for local manufacturers. I don't know if this was in relation to QPPV training, which was done, and we included both local and international, the QPPVs. So that was just a start, and we are still going to have more trainings coming. Thank you.
Two questions were asked, one on increase of CPDs from 20 to 40. This is actually not an increase. When the guideline was developed, we had put the CPD points at 40. We had given stakeholders time to get actualized to the CPDs because it was a new process for us. We started at 20, and we had said after 3 years we are going to go to what has been proposed as 40. So there is no increase. It is just implementing the guideline as is. The next question was on equating BFAM, or rather HND to BFAM by KNQA. KNQA is authority on itself. They have their procedures, but one thing is BFAM has not been equated. When you look at the way they put or classify the different levels at KNQA, BFAM and other professional degrees are at level 8. HNDs, they have put them at level 7. One other thing is those HNDs at Pharmacy and Poisons Board are not registrable as degrees. So I don't see a big issue there. BFAM is at level 8, HNDs at 7, and they are not registrable as well. Thank you.
One man is lucky, Dr. Siche is, but we may not be able to answer all your questions. But Judy, are you in the room? Judy Sirima, yeah, she's there. You'll take these questions, and then we will do what we call what? We will answer them and post them. I don't know where you will want them to be posted. It should be on the PSK one, not the Pharmacy Board one and the PSK, so that everybody's question is answered. Our communication people, Judy and Naomi, are here, so make sure you take stock of these questions, and then the officers will answer, and then we post them on the website. I think, Anis, we've done good work.
at least submit his nomination so that the honorable fellows can consider him for the same.
I'm disappointed in that he promised me, next time I appear, I'm given honorary fellow.
Yeah.
Now he's jumping. All the same.
I want to say it in public so that it can actually be, yeah, there you go. Before he speaks, for the process, just to be clear, you have to nominate him, Sindio? So nominate him en masse. Sindio, by ululation, so that they can also consider his application. Yeah.
Let me just quickly say, fellows are looking forward to company, to increase the company of fellows. I can assure you, the fellows, for the longest time, they have been hoping we could come up with people who can join the team so that we have a mix of those who were there before and those who have come up. But I must say this. Becoming a fellow, you need to be nominated, as he says. The nominating person or persons will have to give a list of their achievements, their accomplishments, not for themselves, but for the profession and the society. That's the yardstick, that's the criteria. So as you do this, as you do the nominations, because we want to ensure the process remains objective, transparent, and justifiable for anybody. Let us not make the mistake of thinking merely because I was the president of PSK, I become a fellow. No, in the process of doing what you did, show us the achievements for this society, for this profession, because that is a standard, that is a culture we have to establish. I speak as a founder, I speak as the teacher of many of you, as a teacher, I speak as a former president, and I speak as a former registrar. So please, we don't want to have a club that is exclusive to one or two people. That would be wrong. But at the same time, we must establish and maintain standards for the future of this profession. Thank you very much. On that note, it is my pleasure. As I said, I have noted, I have noted the achievements we have made over time. No doubt we have made some progress. I've no doubt thrown some challenges to my student. He's truly my student in truth in class and my student as a registrar, because surely I come before him. An alumni of the University of Nairobi, and now belonging to that small group of people who have held that position. And I'm honored to have been there. And I reiterate, and I don't want to be celebrated, but also we need to recognize contribution. Your office became what it is because of the efforts we made. And I'm with my colleagues. I will challenge you and I will request that as you come to retire, let it be said that in the honor, in the time, the era of CI, and I hope then he will be honorable, fellow CI, I hope so. Once you make that request and justification, the fellows we need, we look at that. But I would like us to be able to say, our colleague in his time achieved a number of things which I don't want to repeat, which are important for us. Are we together? Are we together on that? So kindly, Registrar, as you journey through this, and we are looking for it, we are praying for you. Let it not be said that we were a roadblock. I listened to the answer about the case. The court case is just a court case. We can override it. We can clearly override. I can show you, and I have the document. If you look at it, we have full justification. We can override that. I've talked to the lawyers who support the PSK. I have given him the document necessary. We can override it. We can go over it. It is not finished. It's not finito. But let us, in that knowledge, then support ourselves. Let's not assume it was done. But I can tell you, and I speak with authority here, We can do this. We can overcome. If it was a mistake, we can deal with it.
Thank you. Makofi, So today in the afternoon, we'll have the Honorable Fellows address us. So please keep time and be available from, is it 1:30? 1:30 to 3:30.
Sorry, I forgot he's an alumni of Mangu High School. So he also came after me there. So, so now I would say let's take a photo together. Now I have the honor to make this presentation to the registrar. My co-alumni, my co-registrar. My honor, thank you very much.